So today I'm going to be showing you 3 easy ways to draw outlines. One of the most important and overlooked steps when drawing hyperrealism is the outline. The outline is your guide, so you really need it to be as accurate as possible
to achieve the most realistic results. One of my favorite methods, specifically for those who are just starting out in their art journeys, is the grid method. I like to use Procreate to create my grid, but you can use any program or app you like. So first we open up a reference photo in Procreate, then I go to Settings and turn on Drawing Guide. Then you click on Edit Drawing Guide. On the 2D Grid tab, you can adjust the grid size to a size you feel comfortable with and also that fits your reference, as proportionate as possible. If you are drawing on a bigger size paper, you want your grid to be smaller, so you are going to have way more squares than if you were to do a small drawing like I will be doing here on just a sketchbook. So my grid is going to be 6 squares times 7 squares. Then I just like to adjust the edges to make sure they are aligned with my borders. And there we go, it's ready to go. You can also adjust the thickness and color of your grid to whatever you like. You can also do this by printing out your reference and drawing the grid on top of it. I like to use Procreate to create my grid because I already have this app on my iPad and I'm always using it. But I know there's some great apps out there that you can use on your phone. I think there's one called Grid Art, and it's also super easy to create the grid on it. And finally, I take a screenshot of it because I don't know how to export the picture with the grid included. If you know, let me know. Now that your grid is ready, we're going to replicate that grid onto your paper. So if you have a 6x7 like me, you're going to draw 6x7 on your paper, depending on the size that you want each square to be. I like to use a 2B pencil for this process because it is soft enough that it won't dent my paper and it's not too dark. You want to be applying very light pressure when drawing your grid so that you don't damage the paper. In my case, I chose each square to measure 2 by 2 centimeters since I will be doing this on a small sketchbook. Also guys, I just moved to another continent and I couldn't bring all of my stuff with me, so I don't have a ruler. I had to get a little creative with this little step. Okay, so first I am going to be drawing my border. I do want my drawing to be centered, at least from left to right. So I have a 1.5 centimeter on each side. And then I'm making marks every 2 centimeters in between my first markings to create my vertical grid lines. I decided to leave a 3 centimeter border on the bottom and whatever is left on the top, since I don't care for this to be perfectly centered as I do with the sides. Now I make the marks vertically every 2 centimeters to create my horizontal grid and draw my lines. Now that my grid is ready and my reference photo is at hand, I begin by looking at each individual square. I usually start at a corner and work my way from there either to the side or down or wherever I feel like. You just really need to do the basic outline here. Don't focus too much on details because that will come later when you start shading. Once I'm done drawing the outline, I use a kneaded eraser to make the lines lighter. Method number 2 on my list is tracing the outline. This is my go-to when drawing commission portraits that need to look exactly like the subject. If I'm drawing somebody's grandma, it needs to look just like grandma, you know? I also use it when I need to save some time since the grid method can take hours, like I'm talking over 8 hours or more just on the outline. This method is pretty simple. I just use a graphite stick, usually 9B or 6B, and scribble on the back of my printed reference, just like this. Then I bring the reference on top of my paper and start outlining the basic sketch. Once you're done, you just peel off or lift off the printed reference and there you go. You have your outline ready to go. And finally, the last method is using a projector. I haven't done this yet. I definitely will be using this now that I have one. We bought this instead of a TV and I'm loving it. It feels like a movie theater. It's like a smart projector, so it has Netflix and all the goodies. Anyways, this will be perfect when doing big drawings. You just need to adjust your image and size to your paper and again, trace the basic outline to start your drawing. I really hope you enjoyed this and this was helpful. And if you liked it, please leave a comment and subscribe and let me know what else you would like to see from me.